This is Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia. Here is your host, Kevin Captain.
Good morning and welcome to Volusia Today. I'm Clayton Jackson. I'm joined today by my co-host, David Hunt. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Volusia Today is made possible by our sponsors, the Daytona Beach International Airport, the Ocean Center, Volusia Recycles, and Votran Public Transportation. Dave, how are things this morning?
They're pretty good. We're in April. It's once again beautiful out. It's another beautiful day in Volusia County, and we are lucky to have two people with immense knowledge on a subject that impacts every one of our lives every day, right when you wake up in the morning. We got two legends of water in the studio.
The legends.
And that's going to be Tom Carey with Volusia County Environmental Management and Michael Ulrich, the Director of Utilities. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing great.
Very good.
Thanks for having us.
So we were talking a little bit before we got on air, and I was under the misconception that all of our drinking water came from Georgia, had run down from Georgia, and I was made aware that that was wrong. So I figured we'd start it off with just, where does the water that we drink come from?
Yeah, great question, David. We actually have probably the most unique aquifer in all of Florida. We have what's called the Volusia Floridan Aquifer, and it's designated as a sole source aquifer by the EPA. That happened back in 1987, and it's because we are totally surrounded by salt water. The relic water coming out of the St. John's up Coning separates us from the rest of the state, and then we have a fault line to the north and to the south of us, and of course to the east of us we have the Atlantic Ocean. So basically whatever rainfall falls in Volusia County has the potential to recharge our aquifer, and that's where we get our drinking water from. We're very fortunate and blessed to have the DeLand Ridge, which is nothing but a high sandy hill, but that high sandy hill allows for water to collect, rainwater to collect, and then recharge into the aquifer. So it's a cycle, but it's basically our own cycle. It's our nest to protect and keep. So that's our job, is to try to preserve it.
And you can see for the average person, maybe if you visit a spring, is that where you're actually able to visually see the Floridan aquifer coming to the surface? Is that the same water?
Yes, it is, and that kind of gives you the meeting of the two, right? The surface of the ground and the what it looks like down in the aquifer. And that's another thing. You know, you have to have pressure in order to make water to come out anywhere, right? Your tap or wherever. Well, the pressure is gravity, and that gravity building up in that sand hill, pushing down on the water, makes it come out in certain spots like the springs that we have in the county.
Oh, interesting. So for those of you who may not know this already, but April is actually Water Conservation Month. Why is April chosen as such?
Water Conservation Month in April, along with a lot of other awareness campaigns that occur throughout the whole year. There are certain designations, but in the month of April, it's usually the period of time when it's driest. We've currently, I believe, the Water Management District's identified right now we're under a moderate drought conditions, according to their website. And it is typically a period of time, annually where it's much more drier, and so a lot more awareness to how you're using your water, particularly out in irrigation, how you're using it, whether you have a separate well or you're using potable drinking water, or you have reclaimed water. It's very important to use that in a manner that is efficient yet conserves. There's this limited supply that needs to be used or can be used, and so it's just a greater awareness this time of year.
And so we all take it for granted. It's something we rarely ever think about. Why is it, you kind of hit on it, but why is it important that all of us at least understand why it's important and the actual impacts? Because there's different levels to this, right? We have environmental management in the room, and we have public utilities in the room, but then there's also a factor of each and every one of us and the impacts we can have. How do they kind of all tie together in conserving water?
Well, all right, I'll start with
it out, Mike.
In actuality, again, and I hate to jump around to a lot of these different types of things, but, what Tom and I were joking about the other day, or actually it's more serious than that, is the number of campaigns that occur throughout the entire year. This month we're talking about water conservation, but also the district has identified this as Springs Protection Month as well. Last month was the EPA had a Fix a Water Leak Week. The World Water Day was last month. Mm-hmm. Later in the year, we're going to be talking about Drinking Water Week. We're going to have Imagine a Day Without Water. And the way that water has, these are awareness campaigns, and maintaining water as, in your mind every day is what's really important, is how you use it, how you store it, how you consider it in any type of business decision you make in the future, your health, your quality of life. Just thinking about water in general is important. So I know that while you talk about conservation, we really just need to be thinking about water in terms of all of these things, because it connects us with everything: our public health, our environment, our economy, grows jobs. It's trying to make water awareness an everyday thing.
I mean, you said imagine a day without water. While you were speaking, I was thinking of all, like, my daily routine: brushing my teeth, showering, cooking, cleaning. Like you said, no water.
Right.
The pool. I can't fish out back. Dave can't go surfing without water.
Yeah, that's true.
So our listeners really need to think about that. Like, all the ways water touches your daily life. Like, it's truly incredible.
Yeah. It's very sobering. And like we were talking about, we just take it for granted. You turn the tap on and there it is. And you do the daily things. You get yourself a drink of water.
You don't even think about it.
Right. You don't. And it's such a precious resource. We need to conserve it.
Well, you can think in other terms. If you think about water, think about it as almost like an investment portfolio. You have a diversified portfolio of investments, when you're, within your own personal life and everything like that. But, water, every type of water has value. The water that comes from the aquifer, which is your fresh drinking water supply, but, there's also, in addition to the fresh drinking water supply, businesses use it for manufacturing. Power companies use it for some of their cooling processes. Agriculture relies on this supply. But then you also have, well, as we know, we've had flooding, we've had storms. How do you capture that water? How do you capture that water and turn that into beneficial use? In addition to that, there's the wastewater that comes. How do you take that wastewater and treat it and return it back to the environment safely, or use it for other purposes that reduce the amount of groundwater which is being used, by the folks that live here now and the folks that will be coming here tomorrow.
And I love what you say, Mike. I've heard you say it before about the cost versus the value, right? So, can you go into a little bit about that?
Sure. The cost is something that everybody sees. Well, cost means different things to different people. If you're a utility customer, you get that monthly bill. I'm one of 16 utilities that sends out bills to customers throughout Volusia County. And our customers, of course, see that bill, and they obviously understand the cost of their water. But as you look at some of those costs and you eliminate the other things that might be on that monthly bill, like, for instance, the trash bill or some of the other things that can get added, if you just take a typical cost of somebody that uses 5,000 gallons or a household that uses 5,000 gallons, you're typically going to find, and you divide that by the cost of that water bill, you're going to find that it's less than a penny a gallon. And then as far as wastewater, if you're on a sewer system as well, it's usually in that penny a gallon type. It costs a little bit more to treat, to dispose, and everything, so the cost of wastewater is a little bit more. But when you think about how many things you can buy for a penny a gallon, and I think that's where the value of it is often mistaken. And these issues have been going on forever. I mean, Ben Franklin once said, nobody understands when the well runs dry, that's when you understand the value of water.
Right. Well, before we go to our first break, tell us a little bit about the Southwest Regional Wastewater Treatment Expansion. What is it? What does it mean? And what can it do for our residents?
Guess I got another one today. Yeah. All right. So the Southwest Regional Facility, which is located in DeBary right now, actually serves not only DeBary, but also we provide service for the utilities that provide wastewater collections in Orange City, portions of Deltona, and now even a portion of DeLand. And so this regional facility has been developed over the last 10 years. We're going through another expansion right now, which will actually quadruple the size it was 10 years ago. There's a variety of reasons that are driving that. Part of it is efficiency. We used to have 3 plants in this area doing the same thing, but now we're able to cost effectively treat at a higher wastewater level at doing it at one facility. In addition, in going to that advanced wastewater treatment, we're expanding the ground storage tank capacity of reclaimed, which enables us to expand reclaimed, and which ultimately offsets the use of groundwater for irrigation purposes. And then lastly, we're also upgrading our current biosolids treatment facilities, which at one point in time, when we're completed with this, we will have reduced the amount of volume of our biosolids by about 85 to 90%. And it will no longer be just shipped out and land applied to another county, but will rather be converted to a Class A fertilizer, which can be used for beneficial use within our own county. And so we're very excited about what's happening with this next upgrade.
Yep, that is very exciting news. All right, so with that, we're going to take a quick break, but stick around for more Volusia Today.
Subscribe to the Volusia County YouTube channel.
And hit the bell icon to know what's happening in your hometown.
There are so many great places to explore.
And things to learn.
With over 1,000 videos available right now, the channel offers something for everyone.
Let's go!
Did you know we have countless features showcasing history, nature, wildlife, and recreation? Subscribe and hit the bell icon.
Or that we live stream important county meetings and workshops where leaders make decisions that can impact our everyday lives. Did you subscribe yet?
Or that we record our weekly radio show, Volusia Today, where we interview staff from the different divisions and departments across our great county, and they discuss the nitty-gritty of their field and expertise.
Go ahead, subscribe.
But that's not it. There's more. Subscribe and hit the bell icon and fully explore.
Score!
We're back. I'm David Hunt along with Clayton Jackson, and you're listening to Volusia Today, a public information program brought to you by the County of Volusia.
So, Tom, real quick, what is the county doing in terms of water conservation and water quality?
That's a big question right there.
That's a good question.
Well, as far as water conservation, we do have a countywide water conservation ordinance, which mimics what the St. Johns River Water Management District has. Basically, it allows during daylight savings time, which we're in right now, 2 days a week watering, depending on what your address is. And you can't water or irrigate during the hottest part of the day because it just evaporates and you're just wasting your money. During the winter months, it drops down to 1 day per week. And the reason why there's such an emphasis on irrigation is because half of our potable water goes to irrigating lawns. And so that's why there's restrictions in place to do that. Our building code also supports the Water Star program from the district, where you have faucets and things of that nature that are water conserving, so you save water inside the home as well. As far as water quality, man, we're doing a lot. That's a very hot topic statewide, and certainly in Volusia County. So we're trying to protect both the groundwater, and one way we're doing that is we have several programs to protect our springs, which actually protects the aquifer too, because that's where the water comes from in our springs is from the aquifer, in converting septic tanks to sewer. And that's a big part of what Mike's group does down in DeBerry to protect Gemini, and that's a project that's in its infancy, but it's rolling right along. The other thing we're doing in the DeLeon Springs area, there's really not much infrastructure there, so what we're trying to do is we have a grant program that we're about to launch. It's going to be in a couple months, to upgrade septic tanks from conventional septic tanks, which are not designed to remove any kind of nutrients, but rather to kill pathogens. That's the whole idea of a septic tank. To upgrade them to a nitrogen-reducing form of septic tank. So there's less nutrients going down into the groundwater and then coming up into Leon Springs and causing the algal blooms and things of that nature. We've got a lot of surface water stuff going on where we're trying to, intercept water before it gets to, say, like the Indian River Lagoon, and clean that up before it goes in there. Another project that Mike has is converting septic tanks on the lagoon and putting them on sewer so that effluent doesn't go into the lagoon. So we're protecting both the surface water and the groundwater, and it's a pretty big job. But along with our partners from the state and cities and things of that nature, the Indian River Lagoon National Estuary Program, we're making a dent in it.
And I heard a little bit there just how much you actually work with Public Works. I feel like it's across the county. Public Works and environmental go hand in hand. And environmental is clean, protect, save. And then in utilities cases, selling water, supplying the people with water. It sounds like they're two opposing sides. How do they fit together, and how do you all work together on almost everything, right? Well,
I can honestly tell you that 11 years ago when I first met Tom, I didn't see a lot of the synergies that might have existed between somebody who's trying to, has to produce enough, meet the demands of the customers, and do it efficiently, and make sure that you're able to make enough money to continue to protect your infrastructure, the various types of things. But you've certainly learned that you can make a great business case not only between our own agencies but within our own local governments and things. Tom hit a couple of minutes ago on one of the things you said down in Oak Hill right now, where you really have to give that small little city and their council some tremendous credit for what they have done to want to do within their own community. It's very inspiring, and quite honestly, we've been a partner with that community. We have not actually led that, but mainly been a technical advisor to be able to help the city achieve what their goals are. And you take that small little city and see what's possible with them. And the other thing that's really encouraging, and Tom hit on this as well, is what's happening in DeLeon Springs. This is a tremendous story in the making as talk right now. Tom talked a little bit about the septic tank improvement project that his area is going on. But again, we are extending, in cooperation with the DEP and the city of DeLand, we're extending water and sewer lines up to an elementary school area close to the spring, 3 miles going up into this area. This community, the business community up there, has been wanting these services for well over 15 years, and they desperately wanted to do this. But when the DeLeon Springs was identified as an outstanding Florida spring by the legislature, it opened the door for partnerships with this community that's desperately has wanted water and sewer service along that Highway 17 corridor for years. So you're bringing prosperity along that corridor. You're bringing fresh drinking water, or your municipal water, up into to a school that's an underserved school. They have their own water and sewer plants online, but they're very costly. They're difficult to maintain. And so the opportunity to bring them municipal drinking water up into that school is, again, the school board is very excited. So we're working with the city of DeLand. We're working with the DeLeon Springs Community Association, working with the school board, the DEP, the St. Johns River Water Management District, and you're bringing all of these levels together, and so you have multiple bottom lines that you're achieving at the same time, and that's what makes for a good project. And it just, again, reflects on what small communities can actually do. You can't do it all by yourself, but if everybody does something, you can really get some things done.
Which I love that. I love that saying. You're a tagline machine when it comes to water, right? Cost versus value. We can't do it all, but everybody can do something. Are amazing things to really think about. When we just kind of talked about your all's collaboration, and then you started to mention it. I feel like every time a project is going on, I write a news release, and the list of acronyms and organizations associated in that news release is mind-blowing, just how many people get together. Can you talk about that collaboration and how many people are actually focused on water across the state? Tom?
Tom, okay, great. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you can't swing a 10-foot pole in our circle without hitting somebody who's helping, improve water quality or quantity. And it really is encouraging to see the entities from the state, like the DEP and the Water Management District, to cooperate with us and collaborate, like Mike was saying, with the smaller cities and smaller entities to make things happen. And there's other. I mentioned the Indian River Lagoon National Estuary Program. Boy, they've come a long way in getting money and doling out some grants and things to improve water quality. So there's a lot of players in this game, and we're just glad to be on the team, right? And moving things forward. So, and the challenges are really great here because we have relic problems, right, from Florida growing so fast. We have the problems that we're creating now, and by problems I mean each one of us makes a little dent in the environment by the waste we produce and the fertilizer we put on our lawn or whatever. And then there's the future. I mean, we were talking the other day about how fast Florida's growing, fastest state in the nation. And so we've got people coming in. So, how do you stop the train? Well, you don't stop it, but you just slow it down a little bit, and you try to use all the tools in the toolbox just to make it the place that people want to come to live, right? Because they come here for the water, for the environment, for the trails, for everything like that. So we just want to make it the best place possible, not only for them, for us, for our grandkids. And, it's just a big team effort, I would say. Yeah.
Let's talk irrigation systems real quick. Oh, yeah. I'm actually having mine repaired right now. So, but tell me, what are some necessities that are imperative for an irrigation system?
Sure. Yeah, well, if you have an automatic timer, it has to have a rain sensor device. And what the rain sensor device does is it postpones the irrigation timer from coming on for a period of days or whatever because it's rained. You don't need it to come on. If you don't have a rain sensor, the thing's mindless and it'll come on in the middle of a rainstorm, and that's what a water conservationist hates to see, right? So, yeah, you got to do that. And we have, Clay, in our county, what's called the WaterWise Ordinance, and that is an ordinance that regulates the installation of irrigation systems. So 50% of it, of an irrigation system, can be what we call high volume, 25 medium, and another 25 low, where in the past it was like put in whatever you want. So we've kind of regulated that. So that combined with the rain sensor makes hopefully every irrigation system that goes in a little bit more efficient.
All right, so everyone, if you have an irrigation system, A, make sure you have a rain sensor, and B, make sure it's working.
The B is important. They do take maintenance, and you got to replace them every once in a while, just like any mechanical thing.
Yes, sir. All right, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Volusia Today.
Subscribe to the Volusia County YouTube channel.
And hit the bell icon to know what's happening in your hometown.
There are so many great places to explore.
And things to learn.
With over 1,000 videos available right now, the channel offers something for everyone.
Let's go!
Did you know we have countless features showcasing history, nature, wildlife, and recreation? Subscribe and hit the bell icon.
Or that we live stream important county meetings and workshops where leaders make decisions that can impact our everyday lives. Did you subscribe yet?
Or that we record our weekly radio show, Volusia Today, where we interview staff from the different divisions and departments across our great county, and they discuss the nitty-gritty of their field and expertise.
Go ahead, subscribe.
But that's not it. There's more. Subscribe and hit the bell icon and fully explore.
Score!
We're back. I'm Clayton Jackson along with David Hunt, and you're listening to Volusia Today, a public information program brought to you by the County of Volusia. And thank you so much for listening this morning. So, guys, there is the upcoming St. Johns River cleanup on Saturday, April 22nd. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. Hey, we're really excited about this because April 22nd is actually Earth Day. And we typically have the St. Johns River cleanup. It's an annual event. We're in our 27th year of doing this on Earth Day. And what we've done, Clay, we've done a little bit different. We contacted every county that borders us, Flagler, Brevard, Orange, and Seminole, and we asked them to participate as well. And then we got to thinking, we really don't associate much with the counties north of us, so we contacted the St. Johns River Keeper, which is a private organization that they collaborate to protect the entire river, and they've jumped on board, and they've gotten actually Ford Motor Company involved, and it's turned out to be a pretty big thing. So we're pretty excited. You can go to volusia.org/cleanup, and you can register there for our 9 sites here in Volusia County.
And get out there and clean up. That's going to be my first year anniversary on Earth Day, April 22nd.
Oh, cool.
I was married on Earth Day. Just a little aside. We're running out of time.
Congratulations.
We're running out of time, but what's the message that you're going to leave the residents with?
I think that the main thing is and Tom pointed it out, is everybody has an impact in using water. It's a shared resource. It's a shared responsibility. Locally, we're best suited to allow the Water Management District and DEP, as laws are set at the state level and regulatory requirements. We just have to adopt certain things that align. We have to work locally to develop plans that make sense, that are affordable or feasible.
Well, great information. So, Tom, do you have anything in closing?
I was just going to say, one term that we use with the National Estuary Program is that we're all part of the problem, and we can be part of the solution, each one of us. And so everybody just has to have a mindset to conserve, to protect, and make the environment the way you really want it to be, pure and pristine as possible. April's going to be a good month in Volusia County. A lot of things going on. It's Water Conservation Month, Springs Protection Month, and we've got the St. Johns River cleanup on the 22nd of April. Should be fair weather, and hopefully people will come out, enjoy the outdoors, conserve water, and for more information on that, you can go to volusia.org/conservation.
We want to thank our guests, Tom and Mike, and we want to thank you for listening to Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia. I'm Clayton Jackson, along with David Hunt. Have a great day in Volusia County.
If you have a comment about Volusia Today, or if there is a topic you would like to hear featured, please contact Volusia County Community Information at 1-866-345-0345.